Good afternoon. My name is Sherise Rollins, and I am presenting my paper on revisiting the capture of Covington, a small town with big history. And I am located at the Board of Education for Newton County School System with Ms. Shaka James, Amelita Sims, Ms. Asmeretta Ashford, and Ms. D. Strahan. In modern globalized world, with respectful acknowledgement of cultural diversity, details and nuances of local history became more and more significant. On the global scale, when digital technologies such as the Google allow people to virtually visit locations without leaving their homes, in order to appreciate the opportunity, historical and cultural awareness is mandatory. A small city in Covington, Georgia, USA, with its less than 200 years of existence, might not be able to compete with Egyptian pyramids or the city-states of ancient Mesopotamia in matters of global historical influence. Nevertheless, in the national discourse, Covington plays a significant part, especially from the perspective of the Civil War context, which forms the predominant segment of the city's cultural legacy, modern urban space. The core research question of the study focuses on the role and contributions of the city of Covington in the course of Civil War in general and General Sherman's March to the Sea in particular. In pursuing this line of investigation, the necessity of exploring the city's historical legacy, which is identified by the local sites as historic markers and local folklore regarding the actions of individual residents, emerges vividly. At the same time, in order to present Covington's role on a wider historical scale of the Civil War discourse, narratives from neighboring counties and biographical data of those engaged in the city's safeguarding should be implemented as well. Covington has rich historical legacy, and today we're going to talk about some of the things that make Covington, Georgia special. This is the Covington Square, and it's an historical marker located in the center of downtown Covington. In the square, it was erected here in 1822, along with the city of Covington. This marker is located in the square, and as you know, Covington was a marketplace for the Civil War. The Covington, Georgia was used as a place where women, children, and soldiers who were ill, sick, or dying could come for during the war. So some of the churches were used as local hospitals during the Civil War. So General Sherman and a lady named Zora Flair, who was a spy for the Civil War, they made Covington a marker for the Civil War in 1864. This bench was erected in 1822 as a monument to show that this is the landmark, this was the first landmark of the Civil War, to let people know that this is where the war started in Covington, Georgia. This church is the First Methodist Church of Covington, Georgia, and it was a makeshift hospital during the Civil War era in 1864 through 1869 for soldiers who were wounded. This was what is known as the March through Georgia. The actual Civil War started in Atlanta, Georgia, and they marched through Atlanta and stopped in the city of Covington before moving on. This is a monument located in the square of Covington, and it was put up by the Civil War soldiers once they were leaving the city of Covington and heading south or east. I'm not quite sure. They were leaving Covington, Georgia, heading on to fight more in the Civil War, and that was with General Garrett. This is General Sherman. He is the one that came through Covington with his troops, and they did what was called the capture of Covington. Covington was under siege by soldiers from people fighting the war, and they were taking over the stores, the homes, the houses. General Sherman and his troops, they came in and ran them all out.
They got rid of the Yankees.
And this is Major General George Stoneman. He is another general that worked with General Sherman to fight the Civil War. And this is a Confederate monument that stands in the city of Covington Square. It's still there today, and it says their gallant and heroic deeds, like monumental shafts, arise from out of the graveyard of the past, and the mark of the tombs where valor lies. And that is it. Thank you for being a part of my presentation on the City of Covington and the Civil War.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.